When the Canon C400 was announced, there were no real buzzworthy features or specifications. Nothing really stood out. We got the box camera that we had been asking for so long, but it felt underwhelming. However, that might be a good thing. The camera has a full frame native RF mount, but it's not even the first one to have it. That award goes to the Canon R5C, which is full frame and native RF mount. The C400 will shoot internal 6K 60 RAW. The R5C technically shoots 8K RAW, and if you crop the sensor down to Super 35, it'll shoot 6K RAW as well. Triple base ISO. This is one that we have not heard of really anywhere, but we have become accustomed to, outside of the Canon space, to dual base ISO. The Sony's, the FX3, the A7S III, FX6, dual pixel autofocus has now made its way to the cinema camera line for Canon. But really, is this not just a catching up of the cinema line to the mirrorless cameras? I took this camera out with my friend Jordan, and I put myself in the role of documentary filmmaker. It quickly became apparent to me that while each one of these features may lack that sensational buzz that we want, they are a refinement, almost to perfection, of each one of them. The camera is underwhelming in really the best way possible. There's nothing really to hinder me. The camera essentially does its job, and there's no kind of secret caveats that are kind of tucked in there amongst these features. And it gets out of my way and allows me to create, and to be able to create reliably, which is what all professionals need. This $8,000 cinema camera brings features that may not be the most sensational, however, they just work, and they do so reliably. It brings internal 6K 60 RAW, and in the brief time that I had to test this camera hands-on, I set it to 6K 24 and then also 6K 60 RAW, and essentially shot the whole day at that. Paired with the RF 24-70 2.8, this camera makes, I think, a really fantastic documentary filmmaking setup. It has everything that you would want as a solo filmmaker. It has professionally viable autofocus. The autofocus is incredible on this camera. It is reliable. It is very human-like in the way that it racks focus. It has 10 stops of internal ND, 2 SDI ports, which make it great for client use, and 2 mini XLR inputs. The triple base ISO is a welcome addition to this camera. You can press the ISO/gain button on the side of the camera, and it will automatically switch between the base ISOs, 800, 3200, and 12,800, and will cycle through them. The C400 is big enough to command presence and professionalism, yet it's still small enough to mount on a gimbal or handhold all day long. This, I think, makes it suitable in a variety of applications, from the solo filmmaker to the small production team to even larger productions who need a really flexible but still maintaining that high quality result. For me personally, I'm interested in this camera because I've made the transition from just photographer to filmmaker over the last few years, and now really focusing on filmmaking and loving documentary work. And this camera, from the moment that it was released, I had a feeling that it would potentially be a great solution for documentary filmmakers. And based on my first impressions, that holds true. To have an A camera of that caliber and of that quality, it feels like a great fit to me. I have a feeling that this camera, the Canon C400, will end up being one of those defining cameras that all serious filmmakers will aspire to own and will use for plenty of years to come. The problem, I think, is us. We've become so accustomed to sensational marketing and needing the next best thing, needing crazy features and specifications in our camera because technology has grown so rapidly over the last decade that we've just become used to that. We've become so used to that when a camera comes out that is a significant refinement of these features that already exist for us, we find that underwhelming. Shout out to my buddy Jordan Pulmano for letting me test out the camera, and fingers crossed he and his wife are trying to get into their new home, and that's what the footage was about. But they've had some issues along the way, and so we went to go check on the house, and hopefully that all gets wrapped up soon. Anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. My name is David J. Roscoe, and I will see you in the next one.